Honorable Zanetor Rawlings and Yabri Pan or catcher President Akufo-Addo say enough is enough of the corruption and Yabri. Yes, somebody in chim. But before that, no, a higher for 1G, but more than subscribe my son be near my odwa e koso Ghana no. Ba kumponye den empower ti so because when you be no wahwe no atini nyina yes already en kan de o. Yeah, Honorable Zanetor Rawlings actually say the Yabri pa ye. First of all no, the cast can send a crown the tamale a year NDC campaign launch or some call launch or the can a man in Sambia never very powerful or send a strong warning to the AGB House or what you say. Corruptions are el coso Ghana no. A year this country we need change because this government no Bibia and say you continue near the power and say show me some basis because if say indeed you want to change it. Even though we are in the year of elections in Impuno, I can't less than 4 months to election. Still now rest the economy I had. Say and no crown pipe Jakabit Maka say, oh go near mem, I'm a man for no one tomo than Kibia or Massa consider Mpuno. Because I knew in the previous government, it drew election year Mukwadia a yes, I watch our company near my bathroom. Near be and ye be a Ghana for complaining in a bathroom. Now, so this government today, even election year and poor, I can less than 4 months and poor. I feel no year no more. Didn't know was because of corruption. Why reveal a lot of corrupt scandals? Just say this government led by a Akufo-Addo, Nyema Moyo, Jubilee House, Yes and Ketua, come home could see a year Honorable Zanetor Rawlings branches or reveal all the leaks and evidence such as air cost.
Drew point I was a vote on the motion for another loan agreement. No, N.Addo so our parliament. Inti speaker Oma, you know, or the question too from say with all those in favor, Nanka I know one more can I na no I kind was so loud. No? Speaker had to rule in favor of the no's because it was so obvious. And N.Addo so our chamber. No? Wow. And because of that thing they were trying to push on the last day did not go through. And so I know as an example, you understand the value of numbers in parliament. So there's something going around, say majority leader no what they say as an emergency setting. The point being, say now that they are going to try and bring their members into the chamber. Which makes you understand the value of having a majority. They will make sure it passes through. And once they can mash out their numbers, the guarantee is more or less there. And he said, say, endeavor to vote for young MPs. No, so okay, say NDC. Now, we should either put a stop to the bad governance or the things that have been done that are not in favor of Ghanaians. No, we should reverse them now. The president cannot act on his own.
That's right.
I was so ordered for parliament. So what I say? Now say only Ninkro for our parliament and then the year dream back. The all you know all yakwa. So we'll say. And pass out per se NDC ba ebetina akunya Kesi no so na se won ye adwuma emma ye nya sa majority our parliament man na chere se wo per se ye bregu. And with what is happening no there be aye do no we hwe nyama akosu pi no we need to send a strong message that enough is enough. But beyond that no, it's not just about winning the election. It's about what you do in the aftermath of the election. Oh, election, no. And no, na debi idea dede. Sebe, it's very important. And no, NMA government be bad power. But beyond that, if you don't have that political will, number one, now when yasa tuminu our parliament more, the which means that you will come and you will let people down. And I'm always really harping on it, is to let people understand that the very direct link between what you have in parliament and what's happening in the executive. Because our system no na yedi ejuma.
And by drumming home, sir, message, you know, do you get a sense of appreciation? I mean, based on the number of days I've been saying, say, I'm not watching the relevance of having the numbers.
Me wajidi mum because says okay bibi na one church mu say wenti and I was say yes idea. Sometimes people don't appreciate the value of it because sometimes parliament no yena debia tim say but the work that happens in parliament on the blind side of the public I just a committee jumani na ekosono committee work na cameras no NC so until nobody actually knows the amount of work that's happening there, so all you see is parts of the debates that happen on the floor.
True.
Just so far and no as the only thing I hear or parliament you might assume say who but the system of democracy that we are running includes a very, very dynamic and very active parliamentary legislative arm. I believe said repeating it is bringing more people's attention to the fact say if we really want our democracy to work effectively for us, then we must empower the arms of government. But I believe say Samisha said President Mahama all corner rounds Newman seminar with regards to what is going to be done when it comes to corruption. I'm happy about that because you see, baby, the levels of corruption we can't continue pretending that it is normal and it is okay. It is not. Because if you want to draw the direct line or the between corruption and what is happening, for example, say ABR, it was say procurement be also a hospital be ye better to enro ema wonama eba ho whatever the medications may be. Na se obi afa adwen say ono sika na ye de abasa onfan to se edru onto obe divert e de akostoke ono anim pharmacy. It is a patients be ba hospital ho na omohwehwe nru the hospital pharmacy itself, which should have all of those medications, doesn't have it. Now you're directing Akroma say, oh, pharmacy where I want chain hey. So that medication was procured specifically for the hospital. Now se nipa krono eni sika obetimi akoto sa edro was a pharmacy na any hospital na obi divert sika na akọ na. What that means is someone could die as a result of that. That is a direct link between corruption and your life. Inti abato na ye kono. It is an indication of where we've reached. We must understand that there is no invisible link between corruption and our well-being, corruption and our economy, corruption and our stability. It is directly linked. And sometimes the impression and they say, oh, now media mentor say me who to me directly. But if you understand that corruption is linked to your well-being, in my case, I would defend my party. NDC Abaya, we say we're going to deal with this. That has a direct impact on you. It will have an impact on your fuel prices, on your food prices, on your NHI's card, whether it works or not, whether a draw a pharmacy, a hospital, government hospital, and not somewhere else, for example, whether you have the correct equipment being procured, whether the roads are being built properly, whether the road tolls, sikana for road tolls, whether it's actually going to repair roads or whether it's being diverted to somewhere else. All of these things affect you. It is all because the number of accidents has increased because the roads are bad. You have a roads and highways ministry. You have road tolls in place, for example. And all of these are to ensure, say, you have maintenance of that roads. Poor maintenance of the roads because of somebody's corruption will cost you your life because all you are trying to do is get from one place to the other.
But in the case of recklessness, in this case, a road tolls free. Even the number of years says you can account for no. And then I'll bet you far back to us.
Which is exactly why I keep emphasizing on the fact that we have to have that majority in parliament. Because and unfortunately, it looks as though more and more a lot of things that are happening, for example, in parliament, government party essay, MPs so sometimes there are times when, so for example, let's go back into recent history, this issue with the past finance minister.
That's right.
Yes. There was a group of members of parliament, NPP, they were saying I was so resigning. And now saying yes, Akroma a president also you need. I think we saw what happened after the censure motion. Chamber nanka was say your tuaba in favor of the motion. Say indeed he should resign or should be impeached. Suddenly, one mokrapo a press conference edi kind e can't say papa non resign no
be defended no
exactly knowing. So the point is, if we are now creating a system where even when the thing is not right, because party say you should align and do that, then we have a problem. It means that we are not protecting the public. We are not representing them properly.
Because I've seen a couple of times when Mumu I have dissenting views as against party position. At the end of money, as I will thrive over NPP was against.
Well, one more there, I can't speak for what happens there except for what we all witnessed. But I certainly believe, said on issues with regards to good governance. Yeah. Once our party is in power, we will not sit down to be kona enko year. Na enko so because it will affect all of us. And we all came there with the intention, say here Emma Ghana for na, and not to do something simply in party interest. And see, that has been the narrative for this election, because say we need to reach that point in our politics where intro na enko for the campaign, it has to stop. We've seen where lies have gotten us. That's why we're here today. Inti say ye campaign no. Now once we're in power, we are making sure we're staying on the straight and narrow, and we are not closing our ears. Now I can say, we are in power now. Inti fire home. That is the wrong attitude, because now Ghanaians are also more discerning. Now, yes, now I can say, well, politics and democracy in Tisana. You see, we need to stop the overemphasis on elections as the only benchmark of good governance or of a democracy that is very genuine and thriving.
I didn't know.
Because then the elections are rigged all over. Does that mean that you are doing the right thing? You get into power through elections to do what is right. Inti so when you say power no na so betina akunya no so na wonye wedwuma no, then you're actually letting the people down. It's a betrayal of trust. And this is a contractor as a party. NDC, which it says unity, stability and development. And why? Those are key pillars to good governance, which means that we must be living by those particular principles and the principles of good governance in general. Inti, we cannot afford to betray that. Now, me papa, it would be very strange for me to move away from certain principles. Both my parents raised me in a certain way. I just say no kreno ya krapo also to me, but you have to find a gentle way of saying it. But you must be able to speak the truth, because as a representative of the people, no. So when to me can no cry, then why are you there?
Ghana no cranny. What is the truth about? Oh my Ghana tibia you wom and a baby was here. No cranny.
We're too far behind. In fact, it looks as if we've done fast rewind. In our development, in our positioning. Na nyamiya aduminti, and we are the last man standing, so to speak. So the also all around Africa. You should realize that we really are very blessed and we are very fortunate. And my fan say automatically no, that is the way to always be. We must understand that the people of Ghana have chosen to be tolerant, because Omar Fadrin say, okay, elections no in a few months no year elections into the empeno yeah the battle no and a position on issues. But once that happens, we should not take for granted say we've been brought into power. We must do what is right. Now I believe say if we can do what is right, first of all, to stop this trend of over monetization of politics and the normalization of corruption, because corruption is a disease. Now, like any other disease, so when say now you don't stop it. Now I started and you don't manage it. Before you realize it, everything has been destroyed.
No. How do we cure that? Institutions are what the Obama or the better Akroma, because at this time I hear Kasano, your office of the special prosecutor.
What
is that
it comes down to political will. In America, when NDC comes in, we all have a duty to support the president to make that happen. Asema Mekan or Tamale, that was one of the core messages that I was trying to put across. Say, because we're dealing with corruption now. Man, because nipa balcon now obey us. We must all, as individuals and as a collective, Yafa Adrian said, this is something we're going to do. And it means that regardless of who is getting involved in it, if it is wrong, it is wrong. We have the structures in place. We have the laws in place. Into a DNT. And I say, Obi, ya, dear, nine, Obi, Akoshe, ya, the position, be a mobi, Wako Riasika, or better, no, now, as it comes into the news for a little while, then it goes quiet. Nipa Chrono continues to live as normal. Now, Obi, I be a Sebia, come in now, Korea, Akoko B. Now, ya chino, Eddie Akoshe, and so when Mobashano, Ebia, when ya trial, now still in prison. You know, so it's almost as if we are creating an impression as if justice is fair for some people and not for others. It must.
I was saying for Zanetor Rawlings, I just say you're turning car or breaking your man down, be name any swatching. No, Chair said this is the time I was voting for change. Or Chair said this is the time we Ghanaians we have to come together as one people. Yeah, forget about our party affiliation, yeah, tribalism, yeah, just any money because yes, any man be sabre, you who change be. And this government, a government will be any pie, amuse tribalism, and find politics. You use tribalism and find elected. Yeah, can't come stronghold the Ashanti region. Now, so no, Ubusom, a near my Ashanti region, Muntiminka. Ubusom, someone listed a near my Ashanti region. Yeah, can't a year NPP communicators because of Becca Grandpa. Those people no carry common information here. Those people carry common fact. We are talking about ministers. We are talking about MPs. Or more Ashanti region. Or more listed in Niama or Mayo Ashanti region. Ashanti region will boost this a more stronghold, and it is true. The number of votes on Munye free Ashanti region or a Bibri other region. So almost stronghold umpono. Or more listed one project pay. I won't bow my year. Ama ayasante for. Omuntimi ebi so ne ho yen se ebi wo na omuntimi ebi ne ho omunye ebi. So if say you are talking or you are voting based on a year baby are free okay or you mikromuni or the umitum because those statements are maybe a resident in Ashanti region much say even say the Kotre Cṛaṣ்ṋes NPP they will vote for that a flag bearer. And right now no they are making U-turn society money no omo kan ba masa atweasem because someone will say these people are taking them for granted. Someone will say these people no they don't think about them. They are voting on the mom no omunya so mfaso bia omon benefited from this government even though they voted massively man. So a home put no more ye see other regions obeying. Since the wood here is not Rawlings of a sort say this is the time I was see voting for change. Yanto sa tribalism and misani money in tungu. I say ye voted for GM so ye voted for any MPs. The pieces are more. Send a beer a bit my boy a bit my boy GM. Now the police I hold door de bano bit my pass or a parliament on to me the embrace. Because today this president rewind the country backwards no. When wine a kwechiri a car my boy go no a car in chiri makrampo bed in babiti. Omo digane wu. And it's now to emphasis say my bonny a now is because of corruption. And the corruption or cano or muntimi sorry because by way name too much corrupt. That's almost so bad no obey the same thing. Or say other things that cause other country no keep it messy. The reason why I been to me is say omuni now hope GM say or nobody been sisa. And say GM back now so no so high Emaniama cause for this government ABC ne change this government there. The OCC be also be a bit messy. We state capturing or more just in Japadia or more far. Do among a Ghana for the other previous government aye no omo fire no the Kwame Nkrumah aye na omo se onye hwe no omo fe no na omo building ni wan so magana fo so it is not wrong say any braba no or plead to every Ghanaian say this is the time I was say you make a change. This is the time. So we power and one no. Now say I make it change. Yes, say I mistake. The word is mistake because you mistaken be breeder. You mistake 2 times 8 years ni. You mistake. I'm uncrofu it is 8 years. You nyahwe say ku mistake say obi ode obama your phone on credit enu mum ni bi hu ye beka sa onu mum na ya de padia any ya nka say jijiji because if there is worker nya ono na better phone amount on credit so uti ba me statement or can say or my to phone on credit it means say oba country be hard ma ye ni intimi to phone this on the to phone my yes because so I bring no bo adwuma ya na bit ma ton phone that means ono no ba no be ma country na hard my phone po ye intimi to this e ko free phone you use on the statement no comment section ready bit ma comment subscribe na share ma oni aso ye instant ke be 100% di Akroma.